reunited, and it feels so good. Thank you for tuning in to Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and the Seahawks have brought back safety Quandre Diggs. Now, he's not going to quite look the same as the picture that we have up here on the screen, but I was just so excited I had to find the best photo that I could find of Diggs and put him up next to me because the Seahawks bring back one of a fan favorites here in Seattle. This tweet does come from Diggs. He put the blue and green hearts, no sources needed, just my guy. And he added Blitz the Seahawk in the tweet as well. There's a picture of his daughter with Blitz the Seahawk and with a little bit of I'm coming home as well on the soundtrack. And it just feels good to have a player like Quandre Diggs, who had so many successful years in Seattle, come back to the team kind of as a last hurrah. He left Tennessee because he wanted to play for a winner. Well, sir, you're certainly playing for a winner now in Seattle. Are you excited about the return of Quandre Diggs? I'm jacked up, fired up. As soon as I saw it, I was firing out tweets. Is he back? I can't wait for him to be back. It's going to be so good to see him. But I want to hear from you. Are you fired up about Diggs joining the team again? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, this does come from Brady Henderson. Nothing is officially finalized yet, but at this point, it does look like Diggs is going to sign to their practice squad. There's no way that he would tweet out what he tweeted out. And not just Brady Henderson, who is a great beat writer for the Seahawks. Everybody else who is around the Seahawks covering the team, myself included, has heard stories that it's basically a done deal. The Seahawks just haven't had the ability to announce it yet. So you are going to get Quandre Diggs back in Seattle. Now, he spent obviously 4.5 seasons here coming to us from the Lions. 3 Pro Bowls during that stretch. The best point of his career was when he was making plays for the Hawks. And before Seattle did release him last year, there was kind of some hope that he'd be brought back, but I get why the team moved on from him. Yeah, Julian Love, you clearly had seen some progression from Kobe Bryant to allow yourself to go with a younger version. Now, why does Diggs come back? Because you're having so many injuries at safeties, and we'll just get into that here right now. It looks like Okada is going to miss some significant time. There is a optimism that he's going to avoid the injured reserve, but there hasn't been an official announcement. And while Julian Love is eligible to come back off the injured reserve, well, there's been no official announcement. This kind of makes me wonder if he will come back from the injured reserve. And we'll dive into that more in just a moment, but I do want to look more at Quandre Diggs and how he's fared since he left Seattle. He's playing for the Tennessee Titans. Got released a couple of weeks ago, a medium year, man, but it also made sense for why he would want to leave Tennessee because they're not competing for anything. They're ass. They're not very good at football right now. I mean, the fact that that game was even close is a bit shocking. And he wants to play for a team that has a shot to win a title. I completely understand it. And if you go back through his last couple of years now, obviously he has an injury issue in 2024, so the numbers are down a little bit, but he's still clearly a serviceable safety in the National Football League, especially when you have a bunch of injuries like the Seattle Seahawks. And obviously you look at that 23-22 years, he was one of the better safeties in the National Football League. Now, why I think the Seahawks brought in Diggs is because he adds a veteran presence into that locker room. He can help some of the younger players in that safety room. If D'Anthony Bell has to go and play more, especially early on, well, he can now go to Quandre Diggs and say, hey, man, if I'm seeing this look from an offense, how would you attack it? How would you treat your Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the lead up to a game? And Diggs can give that output to them. If a player is having a bad game, well, now Diggs can help them come out of that. Also, Nick Emmanwori. Quandre Diggs was known for his ability to play all over the field. He can help with Emmanwori as well and get him in the right mindset moving forward. Plus, at any point, if you do need to plug in Quandre Diggs, he's going to be just fine. He's a good safety still, serviceable, right? And sometimes you need a veteran like that just on the field, not because he can still make the same plays that he used to, because unfortunately he can't, but because he can bark out orders, make sure that the players are in the right positions that they need to be. Quandre Diggs is a gigantically smart signing for Seattle, especially with all the injuries that you are dealing with. Now, the question is going to be, if he is signing to the practice squad, that does not mean he's going to be on the active roster right away. Will he see time on the field for the Seahawks? And I think right now, as you look into the injuries in that safety room, there's probably a decent chance that he will. But before I get into those, let me know. Are we going to see Quandre Diggs on the field this year in a Seahawks uniform? Not on the sidelines, hanging out, having a good time, but actually on the field. Let me know down below in the comments. I want to hear what your opinion is on the Diggs signing. Now, here are the safety injuries. Julian Love, he's obviously been on IR for the last couple of weeks, dealing with that hamstring injury. It seems like every time he tries to come back, he re-aggravates it, makes it worse. Now, Okada, he's dealing with a core injury to that oblique muscle right here on the side. If I was more cut, more lean, I might have that muscle popping. Unfortunately, I've got a spare tire, and that's before Thanksgiving. Now, Julian Love, no official word yet on his return, like I said earlier in this video, and I think it is worrisome that we haven't heard Julian Love is coming back for sure yet for the Seahawks. It feels like, again, Mike McDonald, the rest of that team, rest of that crew, they are going to slow play this injury and make sure he's 100% healthy, because you've tried to bring him back now twice, and each time he's re-hurt that hamstring. Hamstrings can be finicky, right? It is a soft tissue muscle, and when you have those injuries, they seem to continue to flare up and flare up and flare up until you take time off, which is what the Seahawks did. I also think it's smart for the Seahawks over your next couple of games, because you have the Vikings, you have the Falcons, and then you get your 4-run stretch where you got Colts, Rams, Panthers, and 49ers. You might not need Julian Love until the Colts game. There's an argument to be made. You might not need him until the Rams game. Maybe you give him a couple extra weeks and Quandre can kind of fill in for that. Now, Okada, there is a possibility of him going to the injured reserve. He's dealing with a core injury. Those are weird injuries because you're using your core in everything. There's no way for you to get a clear break. So is he going to be able to come out on the field and tough through that injury and just kind of deal with it? Derek Hall's been doing that a little bit with his oblique injury. Or is it the type of injury that's going to keep rearing its ugly head, much like Jadeveon Clowney's core injury when he played for the Seahawks that one season way back when? Time is only going to tell. But again, I do think that if you're bringing in Quandre Diggs, you're expecting Okada to be out for quite some time. Now we're going to dive into more on what's going on with the Seahawks and some other roster moves that they made. But before we do that, I need to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it is all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right: Prize Picks. New feature alert. Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. I got a 2-pick Power Play for this weekend's action. JSN, more on his receiving yards. Justin Jefferson, less on his receiving yards as well. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. After going through the injuries with you, my initial read for this is that Quandre Diggs is going to see some action this year. I don't know if he'll ever officially be on the 53-man roster, but I do think there's going to be opportunities, much like you've seen with Shaq Griffin this year, where the Seahawks grab the veteran and pull him up from the practice squad to be active in a game. Now, does that mean he's going to be active against the Minnesota Vikings? Probably not. That's a pretty quick turnaround for a guy who's, well, he's been a free agent for the last couple of weeks, and you're asking him to come in and immediately play. I don't know that that's entirely fair, but I do think that he will see action in certain games and will be active for different games. But I do think you're going to see Diggs' return, much like you saw Marshawn Lynch's return in that last stint in Seattle. Remember, Pete Carroll, he grabs Marshawn Lynch because you have so many injuries at running back, but you used him as that third down back, that low red zone back, but he was there to be a veteran presence and help push this team forward. he wasn't there to be a mainstay and a key cog in the engine that is that Seahawks team. I think it's the same thing for Quandre Diggs. It's nice to have him back. We're all going to be excited. I'm fired up to see him out on the field. He'll come in, make a couple of tackles, make a big play here or there. But for the most part, do not expect to see Quandre Diggs as a mainstay at that safety position. Also, get used to this. He's not going to be number 6 anymore. He's going back to his original 37 number with Seattle. The other roster move that the Seahawks made was the release of Derion Kendrick from the squad. Right now, there are 2 active spots on the Seahawks roster. I wonder if some of that has to do with the potential of bringing different guys back from the IR. Salbert is back, the tight end, as well as the potential for Julian Love to be back. I should say the potential for Salbert as well. So right now, there's 2 active spots, and I want to dive more into why Derion Kendrick was released, because early on this season, the guy was an absolute animal. He's actually still one of the top interception getters for the Seahawks, but you saw this happen and his playing time kind of dwindle after the return of Devin Witherspoon and the return of Nick Eamon-Worry. Both of those guys play in that slot right now, either Eamon-Worry in the big nickel or when you go into more of a dime package, Devin Witherspoon has gone in there, which is where Kendrick had been playing at. And what I think is important to mention here is it wasn't that Derion Kendrick necessarily performed poorly. It's just that's how well that Eamon-Worry and Devin Witherspoon has played. So now Derion Kendrick is basically stuck on the special teams rosters, and that's how he's going to keep his positioning. Well, he's the one who got hooked on the outside shoulder on that Tennessee Titans punt return for a touchdown, and frankly, he's struggled on special teams. So the fact that Derion Kendrick is now getting moved down on the depth chart on special teams and he's getting moved down on the depth chart in that slot corner position made him more expendable. So unfortunately, Derion Kendrick is no longer with the Seahawks. I would be interested, though, to see if he does end up back on the Seahawks practice squad roster, which he is not at the time of this recording. I want you to sound off right now in the comment section. Should the Seahawks have kept Derion Kendrick? Obviously, he played really well at the beginning, but as more and more guys got healthy, the playing time decreased. There is an argument to be made that you always need extra bodies in that cornerback room, but right now it does feel like the safety position is where you need more extra bodies. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Seahawks content coming out every single day. You don't want to miss. And the best part, it's free $99. You don't have to pay a dime for it. So make sure that you hit that sub button. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys later.